Yeah, I think it's going to be well, it's big no matter what happens, really. But obviously, going back to the tour just means it's another full-on year. From November, it's what you're thinking about, and everything you're sort of doing, all the training and everything is geared towards that. And so yeah, it's a big year, and obviously the Olympics as well. So the tour finishes on Sunday in Paris, and then we have the road race, the Olympic road race in Tokyo on the following Saturday. And then the time trial, I think, is the Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's certainly a quick turnaround. And, those 5 weeks or so are going to be, that's what the year is all about, basically. So, yeah, a big year ahead, but I'm looking forward to it. And, it's what I enjoy doing and still do for now anyway. So, yeah, all good.
You've won, obviously, both of them before. You've won Olympic gold. You've won Tour de France before. I mean, do you allow yourself to dream of doing it all over again?
Yeah, that's the goal, is just to get the best result possible, which in them all, really. But it's a long way to go to the start of the tour in July. In any sport really, it can just change day to day. And so yeah, just keep doing what I'm doing and then doing everything I can to be the best there. And then once you get to the race, then it's kind of what will be almost. You just sort of you put yourself there and you put yourself in the right place and you do what you can, and that's easy. Then the racing bit just takes care of itself. Yeah, that's the kind of the way I sort of look at it. And having won it once and then gone back and got second the following year, it felt like I sort of cemented my place there, really. And so yeah, this time is kind of like just see it as a bit of a bonus round and just go and see what I can do.
Yeah, so it's difficult to know how to look at it, I suppose, because obviously having already won it, expectations must be so high, really. You know that you can win it, and therefore anything less than that is obviously isn't as good as what you've done before. I mean, how do you kind of balance those expectations that people now, when they see you going for the tour, will know that you'll want to win it?
Yeah, I think expectations in Wales would be high, I would have thought, having been first and second there previously. But I think in the sport, the competition is so high, and at the end of the day, I just don't think about everybody else anyway, really, and try and just focus on myself and what I'm doing. And even what other rivals for the tour are doing, I don't care. I just stick to my program. I know what works for me. It's my 14th year as a professional now, and so I got some experience, and I think maybe this would be like the 11th tour that I would have rode. So I know how to get in the best shape possible, and that's what I'll do. And then, yeah, like I said before, once you get to the race, once you're in good shape, you can enjoy it a bit more then. There's nothing worse than being in a race when you're not quite fully, at your best, and because you could do much more. So, yeah, get there in the best shape and then just enjoy it and see what happens.
And how do you feel now then, honestly? I know so much was made last season of the extended tour celebrations, which you say you don't regret at all because you wanted to make the most of it. But you've then admitted it was a struggle as well to try and reach peak condition last year. And again, you just obviously hinted at it just then as well. So how do you feel now, and what sort of shape are you trying to get yourself into?
I think I just feel a lot better at this point of the season than I did last year. Just feels like a bit more like a normal season, really. Like last year was the anomaly, really. That was the completely different to the norm. And I've basically just got a lot more bike riding under my belt and a lot more training hours. And obviously this year has been different with having a baby boy, our first. So that certainly adds another dimension to my life. But yeah, training-wise, it's gone really well. I haven't really done too much intensity and efforts and stuff. It's more just the basic groundwork and just building those foundations for the year, basically. So now once the racing starts, and that will improve with racing, and then obviously some training things at home. But yeah, I'm really happy where I am at the moment. And yeah, like I say, it's just night and day compared to the start of 2019. So yeah.
Yes, your baby boy, you mentioned his arrival. How have you taken to it? How have you taken to being a dad?
Oh, I love it. I've just besotted with him. I think it's just mad, isn't it? It just, it does just suddenly change overnight. But nothing changes when it comes to like bike racing though. Like I don't race any different. Well, I've only done one race since since he's come, but yeah, I don't feel like any different when I'm training, going down descents, or you're still just in that same frame of mind really. And like as soon as you start thinking about extra risks or dangers and stuff, you just can't do. You can't be a bike racer basically. So for the time being, that's fine.
But has it crossed your mind in terms of maybe not changed your perspective, but has it changed your motivation when you're looking ahead to the Tour de France, the Olympics? If he's going to be there?
Not really. Like I think it'd be great having him in Paris for sure. Like when we arrive there, and whether that's me on the podium in yellow, or just on the podium, or just in a team bus having a beer. I think it'd just be great having him there anyway. It doesn't really come into my motivation at all, really, in a weird way. I haven't really thought about it, but I'm just driven by just always wanting to, having a goal and just wanting to go there and achieving that. And in this sport as well, it's not like you can, in an exam you can sort of, if you go into the exam and you know everything and you've learned everything, you can get 100%. You get an A or whatever. Whereas in bike racing, you can be 100%, but there's so many other factors that come into it. So you're always in that frame of mind to just get there 100%, do everything you can in the build-up to be there at your best, and then after that it is what will be. And that's what they try to stay with that and try not to get too emotional, and because so much can, like 3 weeks is just a roller coaster of emotions, and especially last year. So the mental side of things is the toughest probably, and that's where like the Tour is sort of won, I think. You can be in the best shape and you can get there, and everyone gets there in great shape. It's how you sort of deal with all the pressures around it for those 3 weeks then.
How good are you going to have to be, do you think, this year if you were going to repeat your success of 2018?
I think I have to be better. I think, every year the standard goes up, and across the board, like you look at the peloton now, and early season races are just so much quicker and faster than what they were even 2-3 years ago. I think the whole peloton is just training better, more professional, and teams just as a whole, I think, a lot better. So I just need to keep working hard, and I know how I get into top shape. So I just need to do that, and when it comes to other teams, and just you don't even think about that. It's I know I keep saying it, and it sounds like a broken record, but I just stay in my own world and stay in my own like little bubble and doing this and that. And it can sound quite robotic, and it is hard to do because if Roglic or someone goes and wins a race in March and then he's winning again in April, like of course you're going to be looking at him thinking, boy, he's going well, but you just need to just stay. I can't affect that, what he's doing, that's what he's doing, and he's going to get there in the shape he's going to be in. Like I can't affect that until it comes to the actual race, and then tactically and things, but all I can control is myself and being in the best shape I can be. So that's all I sort of try to focus on.
And then moving on to the Olympics, people probably have to remind themselves, maybe sometimes, that you're a double Olympic champion as well as a Tour de France winner. What did the Olympic Games mean to you? So many years ago, really now have passed since London. What would another gold or even another medal mean to you this year?
Well, a medal in the road race or the time trial would be massive for myself, because it's obviously a different discipline for a start. And to win another gold would just be incredible. I think the Olympics is what I grew up, watching in my front lounge with my mum and dad, sat on the carpet watching when I was like, must have been 10 or something. I think it was it Barcelona in like 96? And that was like the first sort of Olympics that I kind of remember just religiously watching, whether it's the swimming or the athletics or shooting, whatever. And just wanting to be there. And it wasn't in cycling, it was just to be in the Olympics. So to achieve that so early, but it's still massive. Like in the UK it's huge, the Olympics, and so yeah, just to go there and represent the country is massive anyway, and to be in contention with winning a medal, and if I can do that, it would be incredible.
And for you, remember you sort of talking about the Tour being, one last shot at it, to be a sort of main contender. Are you starting to think about these sort of big races, these big events, as being maybe one of your last?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm not Peter Pan. Like I'm not gonna, be lining up and winning with a chance of winning the biggest races year in, year out. Like it's going to come to an end at some point, but I certainly don't feel like I'm slowing down at the moment. Like this year might be the last, or it might be 21 or 22. Who knows? But certainly, I've still got other races in the back of my mind that I want to go to and perform well in as well. The Giro being one, and also the classics as well. So there's still a lot that I want to do. I'm still just still like quite a young kid inside, really, that just loves racing bikes and loves those sort of big races that I grew up watching on the TV. And this year is all about the Tour. Next year, who knows? But I just can't think too far ahead anyway. One day you're retiring, tomorrow, the next day you go until you're 40. So, it depends how you feel on the bike.
If you retired tomorrow, would you be happy? Obviously be happy with what you already achieved. How much more do you want to add? Is everything else you get here a bonus, or are there still things that you wouldn't quite be happy with if you didn't achieve?
No, I'd certainly be happy with what I've done and everything, and my attitude towards racing and getting the best out of myself. But yeah, there's obviously still things that motivate me and drive me to carry on. But if I don't achieve them, it's not like I'll be sat in like the Conway, in the corner, just drowning my sorrows, like when I'm like 50, like moaning about, I should have won Paris-Roubaix or this or that. But that drive and motivation's still there for sure. And it does matter at the moment. But then, 4 years' time, it won't matter, will it? Because it doesn't. Like, it's just sport, really. Like, I think, the fact that my name is always going to be on that winning in the Tour de France in 2018, like that kind of, it settles you down a bit. It's just like, you've done it once. Like, it gives you the confidence that you know you can do it and you can do it again. But it also like lets you think like, well, yeah, I'm not desperate now. Like when you're too keen or too desperate to do something, you can easily make mistakes and push the wrong areas or whatever and overdo it. And so I think it gives me that, I can relax a bit more, but in a good way, not in a way where you just sit back and you do like an hour less on the bike or you have a pizza or whatever. But I think it just takes that bit of internal pressure away, and everyone likes the adulation and everything that comes with it, but it's definitely not the reason that I do it.